Okay, there we go. All right, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning, and this is part two. We did a segment on using napkins in a napkin journal because our Miss Rose sent us a huge box of napkins, hundreds of them. So if you're watching this video, make sure and go back and watch the, the Happy Mail napkin journal one because Miss Rose just sent us some awesome napkins. And I did show my napkin journal in that one, so I won't repeat that now. So what we're going to do today, though, is in the Mixed Media Art Journal, this is just a little bit of everything in here. Is this the right one? Do I have it upside down? This isn't the one I want. No, this is not the one I want. Hang on, guys. Where's the one we're working in? I have three of them. Here it is. I have three of these. And we've faux leathered them all in different shades of leather. And there's a video on that. So if you want to do a faux leather journal cover, there's a video on that too. So in my mixed media journal, these are just the Dilutions journals, the Dinah Reevely Ranger, I think, mixed media journals. And they're a craft color. They're just a craft color. I think I've done inside and out on this one, yeah. And so we're going to do something in the mixed media journal today. This one is just like whatever. And so I've got some pages that we did, some samples from color book pages. Everything is stuck in here. So what I want to do is the stuff that Colleen sent last week, our little bag of goodies that she wants us to use in a mixed media art journal page. I'm going to try to use some of this. Now she did send us a picture of her smiling bandit. I do not want to glue him in the book because I want to set him out here where I can look at him. Okay, Vicki. And so I don't want to glue him in the book. Even though she may have intended for me to glue him in the book, but I have to sit him up here. I'm going to sit him up here on my little shelf, and I'm going to tape him to my wall because he's just too cute. He makes me smile just looking at him. Right? Just look up. If you're in a bad mood. If you're in a bad mood and you look at that, how could you be in a bad mood, right? But I don't want to get paint on him, so I'm going to stick him up there on the top. So she sent us all kinds of things that I showed last week, little coffee stirrers, coffee dyed flowers. She sent a little XOXO, a little typewriter, some little hearts, and little tags. So I'm going to maybe try to incorporate, well, if I put the tag, I'll have to just attach the tags. I don't want to glue it down. It's got the note on both sides. And a bee, so there's something we could color. Coffee napkin, but I'm not going to use napkins today because that's going to go in the napkin journal, which I just showed before I hit record on this one. So we'll use that napkin journal and probably some of this too because she sent, look at all these paper, coffee dyes and coffee dye paper and all these different tons of coffee cups. Obviously, I'm not going to use all this on a page, but could go in Happy Mail. But what I'm saying is that the napkin will end up, we'll put that in the napkin journal itself. So we got all this to use, and maybe the bee, we'll have to color it. I don't know if I'll take the time to color though. So we may not use the bee on this page. We'll make this a coffee theme page, maybe find a girl or an animal or something that's already colored, or some collage material, and just do a collage page. But I just wanted to, at least use some of this as a background. Okay, on Hubster still has it. No. Yeah, they do have a great crunchy sound, don't they? Yeah, let me. I love some people don't like crinkle sounds. I love crinkle sounds. Like when Jean does different things with crinkle paper, with crinkles. I love listening to crinkle. That's just me. I need to make an ASMR video. I don't know if I could not talk. Me trying to whisper an ASMR, I don't know. But then there's some tissue paper, stamped tissue paper here. that have the coffee friends are the cream in my coffee. So that's cool. So we got that stuff to use. I have no plans. No plans. And it's nice to have another. I use these like when I went on jury duty and took a bunch of pencils. I'll tell you, it was hard. I did fill a whole bag and took a whole bag of pencils because when I was doing those portraits, if you follow me on Twitter, inkiwell, you'll see the pictures that I drew 2 different days, 2 different pictures while I was at jury duty. And I said, well, it's hard to carry a bunch of color pencils to jury duty. So I took a whole bag full of pencils, right? And a baggie to sharpen in because the sharpener I have that has the little caps on it doesn't sharpen as well as my little metal one. So yeah, it was quite the production seeing me have all this stuff balanced on my leg. Yeah, laughing at me doing an ASMR. Yes, Dixie, I know, right? Ah, yeah, for storing stuff. Yeah, I like them for taking when I go somewhere. But so anyway, I will, even if I just put like, here we go. Even though I'm using these right now, but this would be a great place for me to store my current batch. I've got the older ones too. But here's my current newest batch of Crayola markers, right? So I got them all, I think. There we go. That's what we'll do with this one for now, Colleen. These are my newest ones. Like I said, I have a couple older sets where some are working, some are not. I try to throw them away when they run out. So this is my new bag. There we go. New bag up for it. Thank you, Colleen. All right, so in the mixed media journal, and then we got our calendar, focus calendar here. I love this calendar. It's just awesome, right? Uh, yeah, I bought a baggie, a Ziploc baggie for the pencil shavings. Right, yeah, just to sharpen the pencils in. So anyway, I'll just do a little quick flip so you can see the different things we've done in this. Some of it is collage, some of it's color book imagery, and then painted in, and some of it is not even done at all. Like this one's done, this one's not. This one's maybe pretty done. It needs something else. This one I'm calling done. This one done. And we've done most of these on stream at one time or another. If you look in my playlist under mixed media, you'll probably find these. So this is a collage and color book. These giraffes were from a color book. So I'm just going to do a quick flip because I know I flipped through this a lot, but not everybody has seen it. This is a piece of clip art out of a clip art book. Same thing, color book, clip art. You can use it both. And so they're in different stages, and that's from a color book, from the Flow color book page. And by the way, I do have another Happy Mail that I want to show from the one and only Grand Pam from YouTube, but she was not going to be able to be here this week. If I see her now, I'll do her Happy Mail, but she said she wasn't going to be here this week, so Monday I want to do Pam's Happy Mail. I've been saving it for when she's here. Miss Rose, I went ahead and did her napkin box of Happy Mail because she can't ever be here this early because she's a night owl, our Miss Rose. So anyway, so you can see how you can use your color book images. Again, don't try to color. Don't try to glue it down and color it on a mixed media page, right? This is rough and textured and paint and collage. If you try to color on top of that, you're going to get, dents in it, right? So just to kind of show you, this one is from the Heart Journal magazine. So not done here. This is from the little fairy, the fairy color book that I have, and I showed y'all I bought another one, another fairy color book that I'm going to use in the napkin journal. Just all different things. This is from the fairy book. Again, it has some Dylusion stuff sprayed on there, some collage stuff that I'm not done blending into the background yet. So I will, glue and just do a little bit of everything. This is the Pirate Girl from the tattoo book, which we put stickles on and glittered her up. Jean says that she's wearing her t-shirt. This one's done, again, using butterflies out of one of the color books. This one's using the fairies out of the Um, Very, and it's a little flashed out, guys. I don't know if I need to darken it. It's not true. It's hard to have true color and still not have me look like I'm a weird color. To have the picture look correct, when I have the color on here correct, then I look like a weird color. But anyway, collage stuff, color book, little color book bears. We figured Goldilocks and the however many bears. You don't think Miss Rose ever sleeps, Vicky? Oh, hey, Vicky, by the way. Good to see you. So again, from the color books, this is from the fashion floor. All the girls are wearing flowers, just some collage bits. The stained glass window, steampunk color book, not done. See, some of it's not even glued down. So just so you can kind of see all the different in process. This one's done, steampunk color book. So you can just see some are done and some are not. This is one of my favorite pages, I gotta say. It's not done, but every time I go to do something on it, I just love it like it is. With the hawk down there and I just love maybe it's the colors that I'm liking, or the two triangle looking pyramid things at the top. I'm not sure. Anyway, and this is not glued down, but that's from a color book page. This would be good for her to hold. This one, I'm thinking coffee here. She could be holding a coffee cup. This might be my coffee page. I'm going to hold that. So just so you can see, another steampunk girl, and I've shown and shown and shown this book, but I never get tired of flipping through it. The little fish are from the color book. Floral girl out of the flower color book. See, I just can. I could so put Bandit in this book, but I don't really want. And for those of y'all just joining us, I'm wanting to use some of the coffee imagery and coffee dyed papers that Colleen, the mama of Bandit, sent us. But I have to sit him up here because he makes me smile. I like to look at him. Okay, Lycia, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, APG Jamie, Petka. Thanks, everybody, for being here. This is the second recording we're doing today. We're going to do try to do like a little quick bit in this my mixed media journal, which every page has something on it in some form or fashion, right? Just in different stages, as you can see. Some's just got some stuff glued down and nothing else. And they're all works in progress, unless I say this one's done, right? So there you go. Bring the passion. All right. So I'm thinking this one would be good because it won't take too long. We've already got some elements already on here. We can incorporate the coffee and blend it all into a coffee world. You could copy the picture of Bandit and use that. Yeah, that's a good idea too. I could make a copy of him and print him out. I can't do it now though, because I'd have to go downstairs. I have to email it downstairs, go print it downstairs. So I'm not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to make you wait. But yeah, that's a good idea. So I think what we'll do is somehow do a copy. Again, this is just tacked down. A lot of this is not even completely glued down yet. Most of it's got matte medium over it. This does not. So again, one of the benefits of using your matte medium in a mixed media journal is it coats everything. So if you go to blend acrylic paint, it'll wipe away wherever the matte medium is. But if you're going to use color book page images, you have to make sure whatever you used to color this is not water soluble. If I did this with like Eileen's watercolor brush pens that she sent me, I couldn't put matte medium over that. It would just smear it, right? So you have to be aware when you do mixed media, if you're going to put matte medium, or if you're going to varnish your pages, like my third book, or my varnished page collage pages, you got to know what's on that page unless you seal it and spray seal it. And I don't spray seal anything. I mean, I have done some with my graphite. I just don't like it. I don't like to seal things. I don't like to spray it. I don't like to go outside and do it. I don't like to smell it. So, you know, I do my best to use when I matte medium over the top of something, or if I varnish something that it doesn't have things that's going to move or move much. All right, so let's see what we can do with her. All right, so I think I know I want to use these flowers, of course. I want to use the flowers. Maybe not all of them, but some of them. And I'm going to want to use the tag. So I'm going to want to put some kind of a ribbon in this, but this will be like a final element that I'll, you know, put in somewhere. Maybe tuck in here like this, you know, not glue this completely down so I have a little place to tuck in the notes that Colleen sent me. But I do want to put some ribbon on that, so I should get out my ribbon box. Oh, well, I also have her paper clip here, the little paper clip, the little camera paper clip. But I want to do both, like the paper clip, like that, and then some tags, ribbon tags. The thing about something when you do something like this that tucks in, and these pages are pretty thick, right? These pages are pretty thick. But if you have a thinner art journal, if you're going to go over here and then start writing or something, you're going to have that big bump there. So it's nice to be able to have something you could just take it out. So I will put some ribbon on this. I might dig it out here in a minute, but I think I'm going to leave that place for it to tuck in right there, right? Might glue this down on the side just so I have room, to kind of tuck in her notes. Are y'all liking it so far? Hey, Crocker 2. Prisma Color Me, and anybody else popping in. Don't forget, tomorrow's Juju's birthday. Okay, and today is Kathy Cass's birthday. So if y'all see either one of them online, wish them a happy birthday. So that will be like, you know, after you're done painting and everything. Same thing for these flowers. After I do some painting and stuff, I think I want to put, I don't know, maybe some stickles in the middle of these flowers would be good. You know, on top here, like a couple. I don't know, maybe 2 or 3. I'm not going to go, you know, I just think a couple would be good, like 3 different varieties, then maybe 1 or 2 over here, and put stickles in there, some of this peach color stickles. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick and let it start to at least set up. Because you can't close the book until your stickles is dry. So let's see what I got here. I know I have some peach color stickles. Somewhere there's orange. Let's see what I got here. Hang on, guys. Let's look through the stickles bins. Okay, so I have this kind of orange color, but I really want a peach color if I have one. If I don't have peach, I'll use this orange. Let's see what colors we have in here. Ah, here we go. This is the color I was looking for. It's called Fruit Punch. I don't know. I think Fruit Punch is pretty much gone. I don't feel like there's anything in there. So I keep if it's empty or almost empty, I keep it anyway so it reminds me of the color. So if I'm out of it, I'll say, oh yeah, I need to get some Fruit Punch. If I didn't have this, I would totally not even know this color existed. So this is one of the things that I do kind of keep. Even if it's a little bit empty, I think there's one right there. Even if it's almost empty, I'll keep it until I can replace it. Then when I replace it, I'll throw this away. But I just want to make sure that I know the colors of stickles that I have. So I think that's and these are from a vacuum cleaner. I used to have the filter in the vacuum cleaner, came in these. And they're just perfect for storing stickles in. See, they just fit a double row just perfectly. But I think that Fruit Punch right there. So it just kind of opens up like this and pull it out like that. And yeah, I can feel there's enough. There's enough in this one at least to do what we're intending to do today. All right, let's move this off the... And I like stickles because once it dries, it's not like a mess. I do have a couple, maybe about 4 or 5 colors of that Martha Stewart glitter that is awesome glitter. But I do not like using glitter much because I don't risk it getting in my eyes. But this is beautiful glitter. If you can get any of this Martha Stewart glitter, it's got like the shaker top, and it's just this very fine glitter. But if I'm going to use anything glitter, I like to use stickles because it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, it's a lot of stickles. Well, I've had a lot of this since, in scrapbooking, which I rarely do anymore. And by the way, if you're joining me, speaking of, scrapbooking the family, Cam is going to come up Monday. I should say come down on Monday. So sometime next week, we will have to get Cam to draw for you guys. He's not shy about drawing for you guys. Remember, I took him out in public when he was like 11, and made him start drawing at the museum and so he'll draw in public. He's not bad about that. Now, getting into his sketchbooks, that's like pulling teeth. Like this. Because he only likes to show his best, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these flowers out of the way. I got 5 here. Where's that? Yeah, 5 here. And what I want to do is just like make centers. I want to just stickle the centers and then set these aside while I'm working on painting the page, right? So just to have a little bit of, not pretty? Hey, Suzanne. So I'm just going to center these 5 with a pretty glittery center and set them to the side until the end. And then we'll glue these on at the end to add to the page. And again, they're not, it's not adding a bunch of bulk because they're flat, and the stickles is not going to add a bunch of bulk. If I'm going to do a bulky art journal page, I'd rather do it on an individual page and then put it, in a separate book or in a sleeve, because it's hard to work in a bulky book for me. It's just hard for me to work in a bulky book. And these are coffee dyed paper flowers. And I might put some stickles on this too. This is where we're going to stick the tags that she wrote the notes on. And if y'all just join me, I'm using imagery and stuff that Colleen Scrap Chick sent. So that can fit in there with some ribbon on there. I'm going to have to find some pretty orange peach color ribbons, because that'll just be perfect, won't it? So I'm going to set that aside. And again, I'm not going to glue that down because that's where I might glue just this edge down, just so it still has a tuck place in there. Okay, so I got my flowers over there drying. Yep, stickles perks things up. Yes. The glittering flowers. Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? But stickles, you really can't heat dry stickles. You almost have to let them dry on their own. So you want to do that last, right? Especially like if you're doing a color book page. We use stickles on a few things like the mermaid in the Jasmine Beckett. Here, let me find in the Jasmine Beckett color book, we use stickles on the mermaid. You put that on at the end, right? So, yeah. But and that doesn't photograph, guys. So when you see it here during the filming, you can really see the glitter. Because when I took a picture of it, I tried to kind of capture a little bit like that. But glitter, gold, and silver, metallic, just does not photograph. You might see a little bit of it, but it just doesn't show like that does, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else we want to use here. I do like the typewriter. I want to maybe use the typewriter and but I think instead of the thanks there, I'd rather have something with the coffee on there. a couple of these coffee cups. So she's also, see, she sent all this paper that's been coffee, and I want her to hold a coffee cup. So let's pick that first. Okay, here's some more flowers. They're tiny ones. I want to see which coffee cup I want her to hold. Something like this is probably like small enough for her to almost fit in her hand. I mean, she can't really, I guess she could be holding. Let's cut a couple of them out and see what happens. We're just, this is just impromptu. I mean, yeah, we're just on the fly here. All right, so I know I like that one, this one, and I like this one because we can add color to any of these. Let me just cut these up so we can use them. Now I do like the coffee rings too. Maybe we can use a couple of those. And it's best, I've said this a zillion times, it's best if you can. If you're going to blend in something into the background, it's best to tear. But in this case, we're going to fussy cut because I don't want to lose all this, right? I don't want to lose all of her. But I'm thinking that maybe this coffee cup, just, you know, because of the flower and the whole situation here, this one might be the best one. I'm just going to fussy cut that out. So again, Colleen sent us all this flowers and coffee stuff. So I don't know if you can see, it looks like she's holding a ring or something in her hand. I'd like to make it look like she's holding this coffee cup. So let's see if I can. Okay, there's a couple ways you can do something like this. You can trace her hand, put it over the top of this so you know right where to cut. Let me see, I don't know where any tracing paper is right now. Where's a piece of tissue, Miss Rose tissue paper? Let me get a piece of Miss Rose tissue paper. Because it's thin, right? So, just to make like a little template so I can see where I want to cut the coffee cup out. So I'm just going to put this on here. Let me get a pencil. I don't want to try to use marker on a piece of tissue paper because it'll just bleed. So I'll put a pencil here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of trace just the edge of her hand here. So that's just the edge of her hand, so I know where it is. You don't know if it's going to show up. The teacup, no coffee cup with Columbia Extra Strong. All right, so I'm going to want her to be holding this, and I'm going to want her hand to be, I want to cut out where her hand's going to be. So I'm going to put the coffee cup or the teacup, whatever, don't email me, right over where I'm going to want it to be. All right, so now you can kind of see right there, right, where her hand's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let me get some smaller scissors. I don't know why I got those big mama jambas. And I'm going to cut the teacup right along where her hands were. All right, like that. And now I can take, and it will look like she's holding that. Her hands are like over that. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of like that. All right. And you can be a little more fussy. I mean, I did it kind of like quick, but. All right, now I do want some other thing. I'm going to want this here, and I don't know what I want. Do I want a coffee? You know, that would probably be a good thing. A coffee ring. Let's see which one here. Looking through my coffee rings. I'm thinking that I want, you know, a bit of a coffee ring. Let's see. Coming out of the typewriter and still look like it's a coffee ring like that. All right, so now I'm going to turn that over. Now I know I have it placed where I want it. So I'm going to do a couple layers, like there's a couple things coming out here. Why do I keep picking up those Mama Jamba scissors? And then I'll cut that off right there. So I got like a coffee ring there, but I also want a coffee ring coming up like around it too. So I'm going to take this one. I'm just talking out loud, guys. I'm just playing out loud. Take this one and maybe kind of tuck it behind. Like there's a couple coffee rings. Okay, so that one needs to be cut off right there. Something like that. All right, do I want to use this coffee cup? I really like the Starbucks looking one. Where did I put that? This one. Are we having fun yet? If y'all have any questions, put it in caps, guys. Otherwise, I'm not, not really paying a whole lot of attention to chat. Y'all usually take care of yourselves. You like it so far, Colleen? Okay. I think Bandit's smiling. All right. Okay, because I'm thinking I want some more, coffee imagery in here somehow. This is going to have the tag sticking out right here. I'm just going to kind of, play with, oops, come back here. Hold your coffee cup. Don't let it get away from you. I'm wondering if maybe something behind her. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. Let's kind of guesstimating where her hair is. And that will go there. Pull it down just a little. Okay, so now we need something coffee on this side. Let's see about this cup and a couple of coffee rings. So we're just playing in the art journal today with the stuff Colleen sent. We already did a little bit in talking about the napkin journal earlier with the stuff that Miss Rose sent. Bandit makes a good guy. Yeah, he does. I just don't want to glue him in here because I want to keep him. This picture. He would be good in here, but I don't have a copy of him, right? Let's see. That needs to go right here. Something like that. Could go down here too. But remember, I got my flowers going to go in here. Maybe the flowers can go right in here. I've got my 5 flowers. That would almost be kind of cool to have the flowers be almost like a steam. I need a little one. Let me do one of these little ones here. Let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and stickle up one of these little ones too. Oh no. Tiny one. Because I'm not gluing these until the end. Right? Set them aside. I gotta be aware where they are, so I don't stick my arm in them. So there. So I'm liking this idea. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is move everything off. Okay, so kind of remember where I want it. So I know that these 2 things are gonna go. Let me move everything else off here. All the cutouts anyway. The bits. I don't know if I'll use the stirrer. I do like the little XOXO. I'm not going to use the bee because I already used her. Okay, I think we got enough stuff. And this will go in the napkin journal. All right. I think we're good. All right, so now what I want to do is just take things off. Let's go this way with the stuff on this page, and let's go this way with the stuff on this page. Although I do want to take a minute to, let me get my, I'm just going to use Eileen's tacky. You still with us, guys? We still here? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put together the little, I'm going to glue everything down to the typewriter. So I'm just gonna, I always like to put, don't just put the glue on there in loops, because those lumps will show through. I always like to, you know, go all the way to the edge, and you could put it on a phone book or whatever to make sure it goes right to the edge. But I like to make sure that everything's glued down really well. Hey Dede, can you offer a beginner some tips on how to start art journaling with bits without getting overwhelmed? Well, find you a book that you really like. You got to find you a book. And I'm just going to kind of stick this on the back for a second, because this will get glued down to here. You know, I guess it kind of depends on, I would say, what kind of thing you like to do. Do you like to do glue books, or do you want to do mixed media journaling like this? I would recommend first, if you're not used to using thinner page books, a Dilutions book like this, it already has heavy duty paper in it, is great for a beginner, because you're not going to have to be fighting or worrying about wrinkling pages. If you've done enough art journaling, mixed media, those kind of things don't bother you, because you know by the time you get done with glue, paint, collage, you know, and all the layers and mix and matte medium and all that, by the time you get done with that, you know your pages are going to pretty much flatten out anyway. But in the meantime, those pages can be wrinkly until you're done, and that bothers a lot of beginners. So I would recommend, and there's a smaller version of the Dilutions. It has cardstock weight paper already, so you're not fighting wrinkles. Okay, well then that's what I would start with. Start with that. And then the next thing I would tell you to do is, because most beginners get scared to death of ruining a page. This is just me. Now, again, take any of this with a grain of salt, guys, and you have to decide for yourself how brave you will be. I would recommend going through every page and either spraying it with some Dilutions or some scraping on some paint, and getting every page, maybe just even one color, maybe two colors. So you're not overwhelmed with tons of colors. But for instance, take a blue and a red. Maybe you'll scrape on some blue paint and stencil some red, just to get some color on your pages. And this method I'm telling you is if you want to be working through the journal all the time, which sometimes is hard for new people that are art journaling to do too. They want to start with page 1. They want page 1 to be perfect before they move to page 2. I would recommend just going to town on all the pages. That way, because you can see, look, this has just got a bunch of stuff glued down, some drawings, some sketches, and a lot of stuff, okay? But that bothers a lot of people. They want it to be perfect from page 1, and you're never going to have that perfect from page 1. It just doesn't happen. But if you're working on a whole bunch of pages at once, if one's not working for you, hey, just turn the page and start working on this page. Work on this one a little bit, and you can always just glue more stuff over the top. You can paint over the top, right? You know, if you've never done anything in a art journal before, that's just me, but I'm gonna be brave about it, and I tell people to be brave about it, you know. But you know, it's so much depends on your personality. Right, it's going to depend on your personality. What I like about Eileen's tacky is you can just roll it off your fingers. You can just roll it, and it'll bead up, and it'll just come right off. Oh, I do it over the trash can, though. And then other than that, I would say if you want to do this kind of thing, then go watch all my videos or, well, and I know they're long. You can fast forward. People go, your videos are too long. Well, just fast forward. Fast forward to the parts you've seen a bunch of times. Um, so this is going to end up getting glued down here after I get done painting. So I have lots of, ways that I do the different journals, whether it's a napkin journal, a mixed media, collage, all different kinds of things you can do. I would personally think that it would be fun if I'd never art journal before, picked up it for the very first time, watch all different art journalers and do their style, test out their style on a page. Test out my style on one page, mix art journal artista on another, packer dye on another. Try some different styles until you feel comfortable with what you do. Don't be afraid that you're going to ruin your journal. If you're so afraid that you want every page perfect, you won't get far. You just won't get far. Thanks, Prismacolor Me. You like my long videos. But you won't get far if you're afraid to play and test and just keep moving through. Have at least one journal, whether it's a mix, whether it's the Dilution one, which again, I recommend because it's got the thick pages. But you can just start in a cheap sketchbook, but you will be fighting some wrinklage. Just be aware. But if you just want to keep testing out different, different methods and different things, and you don't feel you want to ruin a Dilutions journal, then, just try it in a sketchbook or anything. I mean, I've done tons of journaling in just composition books. But again, I'm not afraid of the pages being wrinkled. Yeah. So there's some tips. I don't know. But I would just say, you're the boss of your art journal. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Carol. You're the boss of your color book. You're the boss of your journal. So this, I also recommend another tip that I would say is start with colors. If you want to start with color themes. Oh, and y'all remind me. Please, somebody remind me. When I get done with this, I want to talk about a cool app that just came out that I want to tell y'all about. Okay? I should have started it at the beginning, but I forgot to tell you at the beginning. But if you want some art inspiration ideas for drawing, if you want some ideas for that, I have a excellent something to share with y'all. Okay, but don't let me forget, because sometimes I forget. I get to the end of the show and go, well, thanks for being here, and our 2.5 hours are up, and then I forget to tell y'all something. So somebody remind me to tell you about the art inspiration app. Let me say that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do before I glue down my cream color, I really want to leave these like they are. I don't want to, maybe I'll put a little bit of color on them, but I really like the coffee paper color of this. And there is some creamy looking other things in there. So, and then the typewriter and all that. I want to leave these colors because I want that color in there. But before I do that, and I'm going to just leave that tack down there, I'm going to go ahead and I'll glue this edge down. I could go and probably do that now. I'm just going to glue this edge down because I want to make it almost like a little pocket right there. I want those tags that Colleen sent me to slip in there, right? So I'm not going to fully glue this rose down. I want to leave that, I want to leave a pocket right there. Yeah, I'll try not to, Lindsay. Someone, at the end, just say, wait, Dede, tell us about the whatever. Yeah, Dilutions journals are awesome for starting. Yes, Anonymous 2153. They are, because they're, Myra. Yeah, thanks, Myra. Because they're thick for you already, and you don't have to worry about them wrinkling. They won't wrinkle. They will not wrinkle, okay? Because it's like 100, it's like, I don't know what weight, maybe 110 weight cardstock. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to start just blending in these elements, right? Like the edges, the torn edges you see here, or you see this one little bit, you see this one little element in this wallpaper piece that I've glued down, which I still have to finish gluing down. But see how this tree limb. Looks like it almost comes right off there. Well, that's the kind of thing you can continue on. Like I might want to put some more tree branches, but I do want to glue that down real quick. This one. I don't want to glue this one down, but some of these edges. And so another thing I would recommend, I'll just give y'all some tips while I'm talking. I would make a couple of lists in your journal. I'd make one list in the back of techniques, like and just a sample page. Like I would take this, like a slick paper, glue it down, put some paint over it, and write down what you did with it. Write down, okay, I tried to put acrylic paint over a slick paper with no matte medium, and this is what happened. I tried to put acrylic paint over a paper that did not have matte medium, and this is what happened. In other words, keep you a page, or it's going to be more than one page, I'll tell you. Keep you a page in the journal that that shows the techniques you've tried, so you know what's going to happen. You think you know what's going to happen, but you don't unless you've actually done it. You won't know what's going to happen with certain matte acrylic paint over a slick paper, matte acrylic paint over paint, texture paper, or a matte paper, or a, this kind of paper. I don't know what she used on this. This may or may not be water soluble. That may smear if I get it wet. I don't know. We'll see. But those kind of things, I'm not afraid to try. But if you're new to it, you will be afraid to try it. Not that you should be. You shouldn't be afraid. But, most people I found are. The second thing that I would have in your matte meat, and I'm trying to smear this out so it doesn't get lumpy. The second thing that I would tell you to have a list in is of people that do those techniques that you've seen and liked. Okay, now I don't want to glue this down right here because I want to be able to tuck that in. But this part of the flower I'm going to glue down, the front of it here. Is have a list, like I said, Journal Artista, Packer Dye, anybody else that you see YouTubes or books or people that you like what they do, and not that you necessarily want to copy them, but if you're new to it, you probably will want to try to copy them just so you learn the techniques, right? Once you learn the techniques, you don't have to copy them anymore. You can do your own styles, but there are technique skills that you probably want to learn. There's Carrie, Carrie's got tons of cool things to do with jelly plating, collaging, and just anybody that just to have a list, right? Just to have a list of people that do the kind of techniques you want to learn. And you'll forget about them once you open your book and go, oh, who's the one that did the jelly plating? Oh, that was Jean. Or that was Carrie. Well, what was their blog? What was their YouTube? What was their Ustream? You're going to forget. So, keep a list in the back of your book of the techniques with even just a little sample bit. And another page with your inspiration, your people. If you don't have a separate book, like I have my idea inspiration notebook where I keep that kind of stuff, but you need somewhere, even if it's just a composition book. Just a composition book, right? To keep your notes and ideas in. Okay. Oh, let me go back to finish gluing some of this down. And I've already got it tacked down. I'm just kind of gluing down, and I do want to kind of go to the edge. I personally don't like things coming up. I like things glued down well. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish gluing this down, and I'm smearing it out to the edge, and I'm not leaving lumps in there. I'm going to put paint over this too, which will fade the edges, but I don't want anything coming loose. I don't want anything coming loose. And I'm probably not taking the time I really need because, I'm streaming. I do get in a little bit of a hurry when I'm streaming. All right, so a journal page is like rearranging the living room. I like that. That's good, Silver. I like that. A journal page is like Okay, so I think I've got pretty much everything but this glued down because, again, that's where I'm going to tuck in my tags at the very end after I'm done painting and everything and gluing the coffee mugs and all that, and the flowers. All right, so I think I'm ready to, now I'm going to get out a couple. I know I want this color of paint, this blue, and I think I'm going to go with even the darker shade. So I'm going to go with Blue Harbor and Uniform Blue for 2 colors. So let me get those out. And I just use Americana craft paint. I like the selection of colors, and it's got good coverage, but you can use any kind of craft paint that's matte. Okay, matte. I don't recommend using gloss, satin, or any of that for, especially if you're going to do any kind of pencil work over it. Not that I probably won't do any penciling over this, but you know, that's just my preference. Okay, the other color I want is a coral color or a peach color. Do I want this one? What, more pink or peach? I think I want, I like them both. Maybe we'll go with, let me move this out of the way. I think I'm wanting this color. This is too orange. Well, I don't know. I like them both. I think I'll squirt out a little of each. Maybe we'll just do a little mix of both. So this color is, I just want a little bit. I always put out more than I need, and that's why you want a journal where you can scrape up the excess. Okay, this is pumpkin, and this one is coral blush. I just want a little pink and a little bit of orange. And let's see, what else do I want? I think I want a little bit of olive green. Let me move my glue. Bandit will hold that for me. And a little bit of, this is Hauser medium green. Okay, so we're going to go with just those colors. I might use some black or white, or we'll see. What else? Okay, let me check chat. If y'all have any questions or comments, put it to me. Put them in caps. Thanks everybody for being here. And if I miss saying hi to you, don't, it's not that I meant to. So it's 11:30 now. Don't forget that our Barb Owen streams on YouTube at 2 Eastern on Fridays. So y'all check her up. Nope. Explore the awesomeness that is Barb Owen. We're not doing check it out. Okay. Now, I would recommend, if you're not going to be careful enough to like hold your page up, or if you care about getting paint on the other side, to put a piece of wax paper behind this, right? I'm just going to kind of hold it up while I do the edges. But if you are fussy about getting your paint from one side to the other, or if you're going to be kind of going thick with your paint and you might end up gluing, you don't want to glue your pages together, right? It's better to put a piece of wax paper or a piece of cardstock or even a piece of typing printer, copy paper behind it, just so you don't glue them together. I'm just going to kind of pick up the edge and just kind of blend this in. Can you see? Can you smell what I'm stepping in? As my daughter likes to say. Yes, I'm matching the paint to what I've got going on. But not necessarily every single color. Like I might need some more yellow ochre, or I don't know. Right now I'm just going with these colors. We'll see. I might want to get some more colors out, but right now I'm just kind of going with this. And I do go a little fast here on camera that I probably would take more time with if I'm just by myself. And I enjoy the process. I'll have somebody else's long video on. And this is where having a torn edge comes in rather than a cut edge. If you have a torn edge, like that's torn right there, see the white core of the image? If you have a torn edge, it's easier to blend paint on a torn edge than it is a cut edge. I mean, you can still blend it, but you're going to see that cut, right? You're going to see that line. I can put my paint on thick enough where I can usually cover that up, but you do kind of have to be aware of that. It's just best to have torn edges whenever possible. So I would just be sitting here watching someone else's long video and taking my time, looking it over, really concentrating and thinking about it, because I'm going to probably put some clouds along here, maybe some steam. That's what we need. Coffee steam. Yeah, we need coffee steam. So, but I would just be, taking my time, not rushing through it as much as I am now. And I like to put on as much as I can with my fingers. I just like finger painting. But, you get in some little areas. You might want that little area right there to be dark blue. You have to get a brush to get in there, right? You know, because your finger is just too big. So thanks, Jean. Yeah, there's Barb. Barb's link. Thank you, Jean. And so anyway, I'm behind on Sassy, who I call Jean. I call her Sassy Pants. I got to catch up on her streams because I had jury duty this week, so I wasn't able to watch hers. Okay, I feel like there's just that tiny little bit of paper coming up there. It bugs me. So I'll take a little bit of glue and just kind of put it behind that because I don't like things coming up. That's just me. Some people it doesn't bother. Okay, I just dropped that into a stickle flower. Oh, okay. So I think I'll take some of the, you know what, I think I am going to get some yellow ochre out too. No, let's go with the peach. Let's just see what we can do. No, I need some yellow ochre. I need some yellow ochre to go with my green. This is antique gold, which is, you know, there's a few versions of an yellow ochre. Just kind of a golden, you know, golden color like that. So it needs that there with the green to separate it from the flowers. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm just using that little bit of floral paper, just almost like a little hidden jewel in the forest there. And it's real subtle. Let me hold it up a little better. See? It's just a little bit of something peeking through. And you can take more time than I'm doing here to kind of feather this stuff in. And I'm picking up the green and the gold, see? And you can kind of marbleize your paint colors. And don't overmix. Like if you pick up two colors on your finger, don't just go like this, because then look, you're just going to have like mud. You want to keep it, I like to put my paint on thick enough where it stays two colors. Can you see that? Leave it like that, gives it more interest than trying to blend it in so perfectly. Of course, you know, this is going to be up to what you like too. You know, you see how it kind of blends it in but leaves areas of mystery. You can't get that with full on, you know, well, you can, but it's a lot more work. You see how that leaves it kind of fuzzy there? Like you can't really tell where the paper ends, and see? But you can't do that if you overblend. You have to almost just barely touch it, and it will give you that effect, right? And then you do have to be a little more, you know, it's a little bit fussier in the spine. But can you see how that's working for me? Yeah, more movement. Exactly, more movement, Silver. Silver's giving me the technical words there today. Now, I don't want to lose all that though either. I like some of that. So I'm just, you know, I'm going to kind of keep it down here. I want to keep most of this kind of stuff down here. Not going to overblend. And remember, the typewriter is going to be right there. But I still like to have it. And then we're going to put steam and, you know, who knows, maybe some water. I don't know yet. So, like that. Okay, maybe just a little bit more on the edge where her hair is, a little bit of the gold, just a little, just to get rid of the white core paper showing. Something like that. That's all for now at the bottom. Okay, so now let's go over here on this side, and then this is where I wanted some of the coral and the peach. And again, I'm just kind of picking up both colors, and I'm just kind of, I just want a little bit of that in there, maybe a little less. And also, and I forgot to tell you all this, keep baby wipes handy, because baby wipes are awesome for blending too. I'm using my finger a lot right now, but especially if you're going over areas where you put matte medium, like for instance, let me just put some blue on her. I'll show you, this is what matte medium does. See, there's blue there. If it's covered with matte medium, I can completely wipe it away. Okay, now you can do that with some shiny magazine images for a minute. Okay, and depending on if it's a magazine or the fashion magazines have thinner papers, calendar pages, book papers are thicker. So, but just be aware that that's one of the benefits of matte medium. If I took that blue and went over this flower, just like I did her hair, there's no wiping all that off. Okay, there's no wiping all that blue off of a color book page that has no coating on it. So once, if I go in here with some water or something, once I put that on there, it's there for good. You can't really wipe it away. But when you're coated with matte medium, you can wipe it away with the baby wipe. And baby wipes are great for blending too. So you can just kind of see here. Just going to do a little bit more blending of some pink. See? Some of the pink and the orange, just kind of blend that in a little bit, kind of give her a little bit of a glow. Maybe we'll even put a complete glow around her. That just kind of, but because it's a baby wipe, see, it's got some moisture in it. You can just kind of see how I'm kind of feathering that in. See how it gave her like a little bit of a glow. And then just kind of almost like that little hard edge on that side. And this side's a little bit more feathered. See? All right. Okay, so here in the crevice, I think I'm going to go ahead and get some of the blue and just kind of put a little bit in the spine there. And then just kind of feather that into, just so that the spine doesn't have a white spine down the middle. Now, some of this here I'm going to want to do, I'm not going to cover this up anymore because there's going to be a coffee cup here. No, the typewriter's there with the cup. Well, I don't know where I'm going to put the steam yet. So I want to leave some of that. All right, so I'm going to cover some of this up. Now, remember, I'm going to want that branch. I'll paint that branch in. So I'm just going to get a couple colors of the blue and just kind of feather in. I can still see some of the, I can still see some of the paper in there, right? And I'll probably paint in some branches and things. And again, I don't know, we're going to have other things sticking in here too, so I don't want to, just want to kind of blend that in. All right, so I think I'm going to just stop with that. And now I think I'll get some of the green and maybe a little bit lighten the green up with some of the yellow ochre. And just do a few branches here. Let's just kind of... And that's another good thing about doing a journal like this, is you'll learn how to really mix colors. That's a great practice, and I've done complete journals just for this purpose. And the magazine journals that I've shown you before are great practice for this. Trying to match colors that are, say, like let's just say it's her hair. If you want to try to match colors with their hair, now a lot of times with so many craft colors, especially Americana, they've got a couple, 200-300 colors, right? But you can practice trying to mix those colors yourself. It's just great practice. In this case, I'm just wanting to, I'm wanting to do a couple shades of green and yellow, and I want to make some branches. Okay, I just want some branches coming across here. Maybe one or two coming out here. Maybe just extend that tree up a little bit. Pull it in, pull it, it's just great practice to try to mix your colors and with images that you already have, or make them stand out like that yellow, make that stand out more on the tree. Y'all still with me? We getting some tips? And if you want to do thin branches, of course, the thinner the brush. But if you take your brush and, let me find a piece of paper. Let me get a scrap paper. if you want to do branches, you can take and kind of roll your brush and just kind of roll it like this. And you'll get some real cool branches, and then you can kind of like, you make sure they're connected, but see, and you can just like roll your brush and it'll do like different thicknesses of a branch, so it just looks more real. See what I'm talking about? Know what I mean, Vern? Like that. So just depending on how many, and if you want tiny ones or, you know, just a few. I just want a few in the back, just like you can kind of almost see in the dark back there, that in the dark of the woods, there's just a little bit of branches back there. I'm not trying to like make a full-on tree right there. I just want a few things kind of connecting it. And you just kind of play with it, and you know, this is where you just learn all kinds of things when you're playing. Could almost need a dark brown right there. All right, so I'm not going to get too involved here because I want to continue. I want to continue on with the full-on page and not take too long because Barb comes on it too. All right, so you can kind of see how you can just kind of play, you know, scruffle your brush, you know, blend with your finger. Just try all kinds of different things like that. Don't be, you know, don't be afraid. If I didn't like that, hey, just paint right over it, right? Or if the paint's still wet, wipe it off with the baby wipe. So, all right, so I'm not going to fussy more with that right now. I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing down my coffee imagery that we did. Let's start with the typewriter here. And again, I'm just going to take my Eileen's Tacky, and I'm going to put it right down here. You may not be able to see me, but I'm completely covering the back. But don't glue down rolls of glue. Like, let me show you. See how I've rolled out a lot of glue? There. Don't leave it like that and glue it down. It'll glue, but you want to, it's just, you don't want it lumpy and bumpy. That glue will show through on the thinner papers. It's just best to go ahead and, you know, pull it all the way off the edge. And you can do this on an old phone book, you know. All right. So that's going right here. Do not fear your, that's right, Vicki. Do not fear your journal page. And again, I can tell I didn't quite get this card glued down from step 1. But sometimes I'll go back, and if I see a little edge, I'll go back in and make sure that that's got enough glue on it. I just personally don't like things coming up off my page. Now again, I'm going to stick these tags in here. These are not going to get glued down. They're just going to get tucked in, right? So that's different. All right. Eileen's Tacky, yes, that's what I love about it. Eileen's Tacky glue, you can just roll it. It'll just roll right off your finger. See? It'll all come off. Where now, again, Golden Matte Medium, that's a little tougher. You're going to have a craft scruffy and some fingernail polish remover to get that stuff off your hand. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Thanks for stopping in, Susan. And hug that grandbaby. All right, so we got that. Now, what else do we have here? I'm kind of trying to remember where we went with some of this. I think we had this here because we're going to have the, do we have this here? Or do we have it up here? Because we're going to do the flowers up here, right? Or do we have the, no, I think we had the coffee here. I think we had the coffee cup here. Did we have the coffee cup here? And the flower, yeah, more flowers down there. I don't remember because we have this one up here. I know this one goes up here. Hang on, I got to do the one in her hands too. I'll see what looks the most balanced here in a minute. All right, so again, this is thin paper, a lot of glue, but we're going to smear it out. And again, when I show you all this, guys, I just talk about the process of whatever I'm working on. I'm not trying to act like y'all don't know how to glue. Okay? I'm not trying to be condescending and act like y'all don't know how to glue. But I'm gluing, so I'm telling you about everything I know about glue while I'm gluing. So, yeah. Okay. The coffee cup was in the middle. Okay, thank you. So we have the coffee cup up here and some more flowers down there. Okay, so and I got that other one that she's holding too. All right, so again, got lots of glue. I'm going to try to go all the way to the edge. And this is easier to do if you have it on a piece of, an old phone book. Because then you can just set this down and, come all the way off the page and not worry about, getting to the edge. All right, so I'm going to tuck that under there. And I want that open so that because it's a little pocket there. I might end up gluing just that edge down. We'll see how much room I have to put those tags in there. Thanks again, Colleen, for all this imagery. Uh-oh, careful, don't thin paper. I don't want to tear it. Thanks again for all this, Colleen. It's been fun playing with it. Yeah, I'm thinking out loud. Exactly, Silver. Silver's just, channeling me today. All right, so this is the other one that we cut right where her hand is going to be. And I showed you how to do that with a piece of tissue paper or tracing paper, whatever you can see through to, cut that area. All right, so I'm going to. And Silver and her daughter both have YouTubes too. Silver, if you want to put your links in there for you and your daughter, feel free. All right, so it goes right in, like she's holding it in her hand. So that's why we cut right around her fingers. So it looks like she's holding that coffee cup. And I'm going to put some steam in there, I think. Just play with it there. All right. I'm just standing here over here rolling this stuff off my hands. Tips are welcome, no matter how trivial. Thank you, Karen, and welcome, by the way. Thank you. I just talk out loud, right? I'm talking out loud of what I'm doing, but I get my teacher voice and it sounds like you people just don't know how to glue. You don't know how to cut. You don't know what scissors do. I don't mean it that way. I'm just talking out loud to what I'm doing, right? All right, so let me test how much room these tags are going to take. Right there. So I think I could probably glue just this one little petal down here, just along the edge. Because I don't want it popping up, but I still want a pocket for that. Okay. All right, I do want to take a minute, though. It's going to bug me if I don't have some sari silk or something in there. So let me just look on my hanging. I got a ton in bins, and y'all seen my bins of ribbon, but I also have a bunch hanging right here, so I'm just going to see if I have a bit of sari silk. I do. No, that's just plain ribbon. I want a piece of sari silk. Oh, that might work. Maybe this will work. I just got bits of ribbon hanging on my wall here, but I think I put all my sari silk in the bin, but maybe I got some. Let's see. Oh, this looks good too. All right, so I got all this bits. I'm just going to go for it because it's what I pulled off the wall. So I got this piece of cloth. I got this fiber with the pink kind of fiber thing here. See, I got that. That looks perfect, doesn't it? I'm liking this. So I think I'll go with that. And then I also got some of this orange ribbon. And then I got this double-sided pink and orange. So I think we're going to use a couple pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take which two do I want together? I think I'll take a little bit of this, and let's just go ahead because I got two tags. So I'm going to get about that much for one. And then this right here in the middle, I like that. So we'll go with that. And a piece of the orange. So I got 4 bits of ribbon here. I'm probably going to have to trim them down, but, hey. All right, let's move that. So I got those 2 and these 2. And what I'm going to do is just going to loop it, right? I'm just going to fold it in half, make it pointy enough to go through the tag. Okay, pull it through the tag and do a loop. Pull it through the tag like that. So we got that one, which is a little much. I'm going to trim it down. That's quite a bit of fluff for a little tag. And then the same thing for this little bit. Just going to do a loop. Stick the loop through the tag. Then open the loop. Pull the tails through the loop. Like that. Come on out. There we go. Let me grab a hold of them. There we go. All right, so now we got that. So let's see how much that's going to stay. Oh, yeah, this one, let's just trim this one down just a tad. All right, those scissors are not fabric scissors. I need my Timmy scissors for fabric. Just going to trim down the length of the ribbons. This, so that will go like this. And I want the darker one in the front because it kind of stands out. So there you can kind of see. So this is going to be tucked in when I get completely done. Okay, hop it and glue. There we go. There's my spot. Okay, I lifted that side up. It wasn't dry yet. Let's glue that back down. The edge, make the little pocket. Is that pretty? Is that pretty? This is with my Colleen gifted stuff, right? So that's what that's going to be, like that. But I want to do some steamage. All right, so let me move all this ribbon. I'll use this bits left over, and I'll take a paper clip. What I'll do is, and I showed y'all how you can take the paper clip and you can just hold it on there. You could do the loop like I just did, but if you want a perfect flat front on your paper clip, let's do the orange side so you can see. Hold it on the paper clip like that. Take one side and pull it through. Oops. Take one side and pull it through. Take the other side and pull it through. And pull it tight, and then you got a nice flat little bit right there. Of course, I would trim this down, but then you have a pretty paper clip thing with these little scraps is what I'm going to do with all these scraps, but I'm not going to do that right now. All right, let's see. Now I do need a little bit of white. Okay. And again, I think what I'll do when I can't, because I won't be able to close this book, I'll have to find another journal. I'll scrape the rest of this into my desk journal. Y'all see I have another journal that I always try to keep one handy. I don't actually keep it on my desk. I keep it right to the right of me on the shelf where I can pull it off because I don't have room on my desk for that big Mama Jamba desk journal. But you want to keep a journal that's just for scraping off extra paint. So I'll do that with this in a minute. And then don't let me forget to tell y'all about the Idea app. Okay? All right, so now I'm just going to take a little bit of white on my finger here, and I want to just kind of do, I don't know if I want to do mist up around her. Let's maybe just do some coffee. I don't know if I want it right, like coming right up into her nostril. But something to that effect, right? I just want some coffee. I just want some steam. Coffee steam. Okay, and let's go over here to this one too. I want coffee steam. So I'm just going to put some white in there like that. And then I can take my baby wipe. You want a clean spot. And just kind of feather it out to make it look real steamy. You can make as much or as little as you want. That's a little much at the top there. I'll just wipe some of that back. Got some coffee steam. So something like that. Then you could do water, or you could do more steam down here. I mean, if you want, let me just show you a couple examples. I'll put some steam down here. This could be water down here, and then you could have it foaming up. I mean, almost like this could be a steamy area down here. Or not. If you don't want white down here, then don't put it, you know. I mean, you can, I'm just showing you some different techniques, right? She's living in a steam coffee world. And because I'm doing it gently with a baby wipe, it just kind of floats around. But then if you want more, like let's say you wanted this to look more like water, then you can take brighter white and you can even do some waves. Say you can do something like that. Or if we want it to be steamy, we can go straight up. You know, water's not probably going to go, it can tumble down straight, but it's not going to be going up straight. That it could if there was something going on. But you could do something like that. Or, you know, if you don't want it that white, just a little bit of steam like that. Or if you don't want it any steam at all, you just go back in there with some color and paint it back out. So you just got to play. You just got to not be afraid to play. I wanted it kind of steamy, like, you know, there could be steamy stuff going on. There's steamy stuff going on. The best part of waking up is it's a stream in your cup. Oh, inks. Oh, I like that, Carrie. I got to write that down. Carrie said the best part about waking up is ink stream in your cup. Hang on. If y'all don't know that saying for I think it's Folgers. Is Folgers in? Yeah, waking up. Thanks, Carrie. And I'm going to put Carrie, and I'll put that in the Wingnut book. Okay, so real quick, let me do the flowers, and then I'll tell you all about that app. Okay, let's see. Now, remember, my flowers, the centers are still wet. They're still wet with the stickles. And I think I might put some stickles in the steam as a last thing. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and... I will tell you this. I normally will glue these flowers down 100%, so there's even the little petals are not coming up. But because of the stickles, I'll forego gluing every little petal down for right now, but I will go back. I will go back and make sure all these petals are glued down because I don't like things coming up in my book, right? But just for now, I'm going to just put a blob of glue and glue it, you know, set it down. But I'll go back and make sure all my petals are glued down really well. All right, let's put, I was going to kind of go up here with the steam, maybe one petal, one flower up there in the steam. Let's put one up there. I just don't like things coming up in my books. If I'm doing a three-dimensional scrapbook page, I don't mind having a lot of dimensional stuff in my scrapbook page because it's going in a sleeve, right? It's going in a sleeve on a three-dimensional scrapbook page. So that kind of thing won't bother me because it's in a sleeve. Know what I mean, Vern? All right, so I'm going to put one more like just right over here. And then up in here. I don't want this big one here. I want this small one like in her cup there. And then one more maybe down. I want it right here. I think it looks better here, although it needs something. It does need something right there. But that just looks stuck there. It looks like it should go right here. And then something else needs to be there. What else did she send me? Oh, another tag. This is good. Okay. This is where I'm going to write. Hang on, let me get a pen that's thick enough but not too thick. Move all these journals out of my way. Let me get a, which one is this? I want a medium. That's a fine. That should be good. That's a brush. Okay. All right. Hang on 1 minute. Writing. One moment. Okay. The best part of waking up is ink stream in your cup. Carrie. So now I'm going to take another little bit of this fabric stuff over here. I'm going to take a little bit of this. This is another tag that Colleen sent. And all the Colleen's information is on these tags, right? So now I'm going to take this tag and do this. Let's cut that down a little. And that can go over here. Now, if I can't, well, I guess I can't. It's not dry yet, so I can still tuck it in. So I think I'm going to tuck that in. Maybe I want it, I don't really want to cover up her hands. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut the tag down so the tag is littler. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking with Folgers. There. Let's just pick that up just a little bit more. There we go. That's just what it needed right there. It needed something right there, right? All right, so now what I'm going to do, the last little thing I'm going to do is take my stickles. Where does it go? And I'm going to just put some stickle steam over some of this, like where it's coming up. See? Can you see the steam? And the same thing over here. I'm going to put some, and I'll have it coming up the top. One more. Just have a little stickle steam. And I think we'll call that done. Now I'll let this sit over there for overnight. Let the stickles dry, and then I'll come back and glue those flowers down better. I might not glue them flat as a pancake, but I'll put some glue under each petal and tack down each petal like that. So, all that matters is he happy? So thanks so much, Colleen, for the picture of Bandit and all these little goodies. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. It was fun. It was fun just to do a little three-dimensional something, right? Because this is my mixed media journal. All right, so real quick before I forget, I don't want to forget telling y'all about, so I hope y'all enjoy. I'll take a picture of it and, at least post a section of it. All right, so what I wanted to share with you is, and some of y'all may already know, one of the YouTubers, his name is Jazza, and Jazza and his partner have come up with, you can get it on the computer, and I bought both. I bought it for the computer, and I bought the iOS app, okay? Let me get my phone here. I'll tell you I want to make sure and tell you the exact name. Okay, so it's called Jazza's Arty Games. Arty Games. Now let me explain what it is. And I'll tell y'all, I'll put a link to Jazza's YouTube and his app and all that. But what it is, it's called Arty Games. Now it's not a thing where you draw. It's not like a Wacom tablet, or you don't do anything in the app. What the app does, it gives you prompts. It gives you, let me get to it so I can tell you what they are. There's tons of them. And he talks about it on his, this is, and it's probably going to flash out, but it looks like that. Oh man, it's not going to show up. It looks like a real colorful background with a brush and a pencil and a paintbrush, and has a dice. It has a dice. And essentially what it does, it gives you prompts, whether it's color prompts, whether, okay, hang on, let me turn it down. Whoops, hang on guys, let me turn it down. I'll try to show you the cover here in a minute. It'll give you color prompts, it gives you character prompts, it gives you background prompts, it gives you combinations, literally millions and millions and millions of combinations. Thanks, Vicki. Yeah, it's Draw with Jazza is his site, And Daily Jazza is his vlog. So he has a vlog and a regular YouTube channel. This is what happens when you bring it up. It's called Jazz's Arty Games. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep unflashing it. And what it does, it will give you all different kinds of prompts. And you can do an art party, or you can play like individual things. Okay, hang on, guys. Oh, I didn't sign in yet. Okay, where's my, I can't do it. I'm not all logged in on my phone because I've only done it on my computer. So it's $2.99, whether you buy it on your computer or $2.99 app. And I bought both because I wanted both. And I could probably have gotten it one, I don't know, you could probably have connected the two or something, but I just supported him, right? And what it does, it'll give you timed challenges. So you might get timed, you can get 5, 10, 15, 20-minute challenges. So, but it also gives you materials. Now, what I mean by that, and I'm not explaining it near as well as him. So you need to go to his vlog and his site, his YouTube channel, to go see the whole explanation of it, right? I'm just giving you a quick rundown, just letting you be aware of it. But if you want all the details, go and peruse the awesomeness of this art challenge. So it'll give you, you can pick materials. So for instance, I just, as a practice, and I just did it yesterday or day before. So you can pick all 150 color pencils for the challenge to draw from, or all the Copic marker colors, and it gives you the color and the number of the pencil. Now, you're not getting the pencil. Now, you're not going to draw. You're not going to draw with any of this on the app. Don't confuse this. You're not going to do any drawing on your phone. What it's doing is giving you the number. So if you have all 150 colors, you get that color, right? If you've got, you know, the set of 36 pencils, then just put in the 36 pencils. Because what it's going to do, bye, Vicki. What it's going to do is give you a number of your supplies that you can pick from. Or, you know, if you don't have that one, pick one close. It's not going to, you're not going to, it's not, buzzer's not going to go off if you pick a shade off, right? If you pick canary yellow instead of lemon yellow or whatever. And so then the random generator will generate 3, 5, however many colors you want. It'll generate the time, and it'll generate a character, like it might say, it'll give you like, draw a pirate hat on a girl wearing a suit on a boat with, you know, pink, yellow, green, and you got 5 minutes. Do you see what I'm saying? It's much more awesome than I'm explaining it. I just wanted y'all to be aware of it. Okay? It's called Jazz's Arty Games. Arty, A-R-T-Y, Games. Okay? And it's $2.99, whether you buy it for your computer or as the app. Okay? Yeah. Thank you, Carrie, for putting in the link there. jazzastudios.com. That's his site where you can buy it. But if you want to hear about it and the explanation and demos of it, go look at Jazz's vlog or his YouTube channel. Okay? jazzastudios.com is where you'll find the Arty Games. But go look at his vlog or his main YouTube channel. I'll put links in there. I'll put links in my description box. Okay? So that you can find it. And you can see thanks, Carrie, for all those links. So you can see how it works. I'm just kind of briefly explaining it to you. It's much more awesome than I'm explaining, trust me. You're going to see so many, literally millions and millions of combinations. And so what you do is just so that you can have some inspiration ideas, and you can play along with friends. And I think there's some groups through Jazza. There's groups through his YouTube channel that does it together. Like they'll pick the same stuff and everybody draws with whatever. But I'm not involved in any of that, so I can't speak for the group thing. But what it'll do is it'll time you, and you don't even have to do it timed if you don't want. If you want to take your time and take as long as you want, just write down the color choices it clue to you, the characters, the descriptions, the backgrounds, the items. It's kind of like our list, how we make our list and pick through different lists. Well, he's got it all together for you. You just bought it, Jean? Yeah, I did too. So anyway, I just wanted y'all to be aware of it because it's a great idea for drawing and practicing your drawing. And you don't even have to show anybody. You're literally drawing at home. It's not anything you do online unless you're in one of these groups, right, where they're sharing their work. So just so y'all know about it. And again, I'll put the link in the description boxes to his where you can buy it, in his vlog and his YouTube main channel and all that. Okay, he just put it out this week. So yeah, and you can draw stick figures, for goodness sake. I mean, it's just the imaginative part. You can, if you pick a red, blue, and a yellow, and it tells you to draw, a pirate in a skyscraper wearing, even if you just did stick figures, your imagination is working. Right? Maybe just get you a composition book to practice all this stuff in. Some of drawings might be better than others, but the idea is to practice. Practice your imagination, and he's given you the inspiration, and you can just combine these ideas together. And so, yeah, Jazz's Arty Games is the name of it. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to go. Thanks for being here. Barb will be on in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2 o'clock. So peruse the awesomeness that is Barb Owen. And thanks, guys, for being here while we played in the Mixed Media Art Journal. Okay. Yeah, and Jean, you do awesome with prompts. Music Scrap Jean does awesome prompts with lyrics and music and quotes and things. And I think when you go to look at his explanation before you buy it, and he breaks it down for you. He'll break it down for you in all the different. There's like 9, 8, 9, 10 different categories. I mean, there's lots of categories. Okay. You're welcome, Juju, and happy birthday again to you. All right, guys, you're welcome. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye.